Hey guys, welcome to the very first video of the boxing workouts. So my name is David and I'll be taking you through first a little tutorial, just a little way to get started with boxing, especially if you're just a beginner just starting out. It's very easy to sort of get into the actual workouts if you have everything else in place. So first thing will be your fighting stance and footwork. Then we just got 3 types of punches. We're just going to be doing 2 defense movements, and that's pretty much boxing. That's all we're going to need to know to get started. So what we're going to get you to do first is your fighting stance. So if you are a right-handed person, your right foot will first go straight to the side and then straight back, and you're just going to start in your fighting stance like this. This will be your fighting stance. If you are left-handed, dominant, you're going to be doing the opposite, obviously the side. So your left foot will come straight to the side and then straight back, and that's going to be your fighting stance. For me, I'm just going to stay in my fighting stance, which is right hand. So my fighting stance is here. Elbows are nice and tucked in, hands are both up, and I'm obviously facing forward. With the combos and when I call out a punch, all I'm going to say is a re or lead. So it doesn't matter which stance you chose. If you are standing on your left side, I'm going to say re, so that's obviously your left side. Same goes for if you're right dominant as well. So I'm in my fighting stance right here, and I'm just going to get started with the first thing, which is basically the movement of the feet, so the positioning of your footwork and your feet. So with boxing, everything comes from the feet up, even with the punches. It's not all about just arm punching. It's all about punching from the ground up, pivoting and turning and bringing the power into your punch, which is a lot of core work as well. So what I'm going to get you to do is get into your fighting stance. Have your knees slightly bent. So when your knees are bent, you're using the ground to push up and into your punch. So you're not standing completely straight where I'm holding all my weight up. You're going to sit into your punch and rotate from there and then back into the punch. So that's very, very important as well. Let's get into the footwork now. So with the fighting stance, I am here. Now I've got my lead foot. So I'm in my fighting stance. I've got my lead foot. It's going to take a step forward. It's going to step forward and my right foot will follow. Still in my fighting stance. Now my rear foot's going to take a step back, and then I'm back into the fighting stance again. Now I'm going to the side on my right side, so I'm stepping there, and then back to center, and then left foot steps, and then back to center again. So that's the 4 different movements with the footwork. Very, very basic, very simple there too. Let's get into these now. So the punches. So the very first punch, we've got the straights, you got the lead jab or the rear cross. I'm just going to start with the lead straight or the jab. So my left hand is here, elbow stays in, you're going to protract your knuckles out, rotate all the way out, and then back in. So again, I'm not just flicking my arm out and in, I'm actually going to rotate a lot from my core. So my whole body's going to push into it and then back in. So here I am, I'm going to snap it out, and it is. Anything you do on the way out, you want to do it on the way back into fighting stance as fast as you can as well. So here we are, snap it out, and do. That's 1, 2, and 3. So that's the lead straight or the jab. We're going to go to the rear side now. So your rear straight or your rear cross coming from the back. So from here, I'm going to sit down into the punch. I'm going to fully protract back out and then protract in. So the elbows are going to stay in, it's going to snap out and then snap in. My rear foot, I want to start using that foot to push off. So my whole body's facing the same way I am punching. My eyes are looking straight down my knuckles there, and then I'm coming back into fighting stance. Let's do that for 3 more times. So go 3, 2, and 1, and return there. One other thing as well, so as I was punching with my rear straight, my lead hand is here, so I'm not dropping it and just going about it like this. So I'm keeping both hands up. So if I want to do a combo with this hand, that's out, this hand's already straight there, ready to go. That's another point, I like to point out there. So next one would be the uppercuts. So starting with the lead uppercut, back to your fighting stance, you're going to sink down, elbow stays in, hand is going to start here. So what you want to do, you want to come down, bring the hands slightly back, and you're going to extend out in front of you. Now, when I extend out, I'm going to lift my heel up. I'm going to activate my hip, and the core is going to lift up, turning out, and then back in. 3, 2, and 1. So that's the lead uppercut. Going for the rear now. So the rear uppercut. Let's go on this angle for you. So I'm in my fighting stance, elbows in, I'm going to sink down, I'm going to turn this foot and hip same time. So elbow drops down, lift up, punch out in front of you, and everything turns at the same time and come back to the start. 3, 2, and 1. That's the second punch, that is the uppercut. Now the third punch is a hook. A little bit more involved, a lot more rotation with it. I like to point out that you almost want your whole body to face the other way, but your eyes are always looking forward at your target. So starting with the lead hook. So I'm going to be sinking down here. My hand is going to be, starting position is here, but what I want is my shoulder to be stacked with my elbows stacked with my wrist. So where the punch comes across, there is one straight line. So that's very solid there. This isn't very solid, that's not very solid. Your hands, I prefer to have your thumb facing up, not to the side. So thumb is facing up, all knuckles are there, and you're gonna rotate across. So my whole body's gonna come across, so it almost wants to face to my right side, but my eyes are still facing forward at the target. So here I am here, right hand here, gonna turn and return here. Hands comes out, elbow pushes through, and then back to start. My left toe is going to face where I'm punching. 3, 2, and 1. That's the lead hook. Now we're going to the rear hook. Rear hook, there is a lot of rotation in this one, so you're a bit more balance involved, especially with the lead foot. So from here, I'm going to go with my rear hand. It's going to come out, going to rotate, turn my foot, my whole body's turning, and then back to the start. Let's go for 3, 2, and 1. So those are the punches there, just the 3 punches on each side with the lead and the rear. Now we've got the defense. There's only 2 defense movements that I like to go through. So the first one is the slip, which is basically what it sounds like, is you're slipping away from an oncoming punch to either counter or just be a defensive movement. So for the slip, you got the first slip, which is the rear slip. I'm going to be here, I'm going to be rotating my shoulder to my opposite knees. So my whole body's twisting and turning, keeping my hands up. So if the punch is coming straight forward, right at that timing is very important in boxing. So the timing of that punch, I'm slipping to keep that opening, and I can counter back into that target at the same time. So we're going 3 times on the rear slip. So here, and slip 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to go to the lead slip. So my rear shoulder is coming up to my lead knee. So from here, I'm going to be slipping for 1, 2, and 3. That's the first defense. The second defense is the unders. Ducks, unders, whichever one you want to call them. I just say unders as you come in under. Keep it very simple, guys. So if you do a squat, very much like a squat, you just want your hips to shoot back, and you're obviously going down under. Now you can get a bit more fancy with it. You can do it like a little U sort of movement if you want. So that's sort of like mimics going under someone's hook or their punch. But for now, I'm just going to go straight down and straight up the quickest way we can, which is to shoot your knees and your hips out. Your whole body's coming straight down and up. So fast down, fast up. Go 3, 2, and 1. And that's it, guys. That is boxing for us. That simple, that easy. Anyone can pretty much do it. If you're going to join me, obviously, with the workouts, that's pretty much the standard, the basic sort of elements involved to go forward.